all about the post-COVID, and we're going to do a blast off, helping you really get off the ground right after this lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
But before before the lockdown even come off, before the lockdown is no more, you have to start planning. So today we're going to share with you a roadmap which will help you to really plan what you're going to do, how you're going to successfully move forward post-COVID.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A critical part of this, Jennifer, as we've always said in our programs, that the post-50 cohort, which is our group, we have three major challenges. We have to, we're going to live till, we are saying 90 plus, and we're probably not going to retire till about 80, 85. Retire meaning stop activity. So we've got to take care of we got to supplement our income flows. We have to make sure we have a social network, and we have to take care of ourselves. And for many of us, this new life, forget the COVID for half of a minute, represents a major shift, because most of us have not really prepared for retirement per se, okay? When I say prepared for retirement, prepared to leave the workplace. It has been such a big part of our lives.
Yeah.
What COVID-19, and quite separately, and I think more importantly, the lockdown has done, is that it has accelerated many of our exits from what was the career. So we are in a place where we are now confronted with, okay, what do we do? And it is looking at our cohort that we're really saying, wait, we've got to help in this transition. And this is what our webinar is about. So Jennifer, you could probably talk about the two aspects of this transition. Okay.
So as Terri-Ann mentioned, we cover different aspects of we call it the 5.8G journey, which is from the 50 to the 80. Terri-Ann, being an expert consultant, business development consultant, would normally take the aspect of the economic aspect, helping those 50 plus, those who are in business, helping them, with their business so that their business can be viable, give them tools, etc. So that aspect, and I say specialize, but yet supports the other aspects. My role as a coach, as a life transition coach, is dealing with your life issues to help you deal with with your transition. How are you coping? What do you have to put in place? So when we get together with any program to lend our expertise, we are able to do a very holistic program covering all aspects of your life, I would say. Whether you want to be in business or not, whether you're still in the workplace or not, whether you're just a homemaker, whatever you want to do in life, we can help you successfully get there. And so today, we're going to be treating with the two areas, more on the business side and the life side. So this is how we're going to approach this webinar.
Great. So we're going to have two parts, all right? And it's 6:04, so we're about to start at 6:05, okay? And Jennifer is really going to start talking about how we look at our lives, okay? And what we want you to do, after Jennifer's presentation, as I said before, then I'm going to start about business. And first we must say, we are so pleased with your response to us. There are so many different issues that you raised, and we absolutely empathize with you. We absolutely stand with you, and we're going to make sure that at the end of this, you have a straight road forward. So Jennifer, who is our certified coach. She is our transitioning life expert, is going to start with her presentation. Okay, so Jennifer, I put it on to you.
Thank you, Terri-Ann. And again, I want to welcome everybody on board with us this evening. When I checked on in terms of the registration, and I know from those who are on, we have different groupings. So yes, we have those who would be between the 50, 60, let me put it in the three groupings. So 50 to 60 who may be still in the workplace or operating their own business. We have the 60 plus who either may have retired, semi-retired, running their business, or just enjoying life as it is. So we have a whole different group in here. And we thank you again for joining us. Now, when I looked at, we asked a question, when you registered, what is your greatest concern? And I felt, you know what? I would just pick out 3 of the concerns that keep popping up and address those. Okay, so but let me tell you, before I do this, let me tell you a bit about what life coaching is, or as a life transition. I normally am life transition, energy and financial coach. And the life transition, again, as mentioned, is getting you through life. And you're coming from one stage to the next. We are dealing with the 50 plus. So from 50 plus, we are saying you're on the 3rd stage of life. So you really have to prepare coming out from one stage into the next. So that is where I help my clients prepare for that stage, doing what they would really like to do. Okay, the energy part, I use energy, and we'll talk more about that. Or when you meet with me, you know, for a program, you would understand how I use that energy process to help you through your journey. And as a financial coach, I came out of the financial industry after spending about 35 years before actually pursuing my certification as a life coach. So I also do a lot of the financial coaching. Okay, so as a coach, what I'll be doing with you is partnering with you and help you along the way, discussing all the different aspects of your life that you need help with. So I pulled out for this discussion, because we are speaking about the post-COVID and helping you, as we say, blast off, providing you with that roadmap, that tool, those tools to help you. I looked at 3 areas. I looked at, many people spoke about frustrations. And in being frustrated, it was because that they had locked down. So you don't have that social life going. You have to do, you know, those who may look at the church community to really, you know, fellowship, etc., now have to do it from home. Those who are accustomed socializing, visiting friends, etc., they can't do that anymore. So you don't have that physical contact. So you feel very, very frustrated. Others are frustrated because they were looking forward for vacation where they can visit family members or just go on a trip and enjoy yourself. So they're frustrated because they're seeing that not in the near future at all. So you get very frustrated. Those who, you know, visiting, like for instance, I really miss my granddaughter who I will have every weekend. So those who cannot, you know, pay a visit to family members, the hug and kiss, and you know, we are a hug and a kiss and, you know, loving people. So you can't do those things. So frustration is very, you know, what was one of the key concerns that people mentioned. And that is important because we talk a lot about mental health. So, you know, for those who are being affected like that, have to be very careful about their mental health. The other aspect that I want to chat a bit about too is fear. A very, very fearful and reason to be fearful, because especially being 50 plus and those in the workplace, there is a good chance when you go back out to work that you're told, you know what, you may take up early retirement, or depending on where you work in, they may put you maybe on a shift system, or you may have to work from home. Some of you all who are already working from home, there's a challenge, because if you're not used to all the technical aspect of the job now, you have to know how to organize the Zoom, how to sit in a Zoom meeting, etc., which could really put a toll on you. And they may say, you know what, you're too old for this. So they have the fear of the you may not have enough savings, and then cost of living going up, and all these different challenges, financial challenges that will, that you are faced with. So you're very fearful what will happen, and you may think, you're too old to get out there to do anything to earn extra income. So a lot of fears, come in at this stage, especially. They were there before, but now it has been heightened because of the COVID and the lockdown. The third aspect is really more the family. There are those who still have, because as I say, we're dealing from 50 right through, those who still have a young family, or those who their grands, their children are still dependent on them because they have lost their jobs, or there's a threat of them losing their jobs. Last week, I spoke to a client whose son just had a young baby, and he got notice already that his company is thinking of closing down, and his position has been made redundant because of his time with the company and age. He has no money coming in. He has no payoff. He has no retirement or anything. So she has to step in and wondering, how is she going to do that? So those are really main concerns that came up and I wanted to deal with. As a coach, and when you're talking about the roadmap, or you're talking about what tools can be used, I would say it is real. So the frustration, the fears, all that, this is real, right? The first step I would take is really dealing with your mindset, because that is important. You cannot move forward or achieve anything positive with a negative mindset, and we know that. But yes, you may say it is very difficult. I can say anything, but the reality is there. But if we don't, guess what? We're going to be stuck. We're going to be more frustrated, and we wouldn't be able to move forward. So step one is your mindset, dealing with that mindset. I would say, having dealt with that, and you can deal with your mindset in different ways. And of course, you seek professional help if you need to move forward and have the, what can be done, the different tools that you can use to help you now be more positive moving forward. All right. The second aspect is to check your situation, be real, face reality. We can no longer live in that false stage. You may have had money before, things may have been going great in your job or in your business, etc. Hey, it's no longer like that. Face the reality of what is happening in your life right now. Okay? What is happening with your family around you? Get a meeting, call a meeting. Let's face reality. You have to take like an inventory. What is happening right now? Okay, so that's the second step. The third step basically would be, okay, then what are the alternatives? What should I do? You cannot sit back and live in that fear that, oh gosh, if I go out to work, they may send me back home. No, prepare now, prepare your mind. Yes, you're going to be in a job, but in the event that happens, then what? Do not be afraid to address the reality of the situation. You need to know what is happening. Then the next step really is start visualizing. You have to just, you must have that faith knowing that things going to be all right. Because guess what? If you don't believe that things going to be all right, then you go into that panic stage. You're going to be very nervous and anxious, and then nothing going to be all right. There are solutions. There's a thing that's saying, not a thing, but a saying that there is a solution to every problem. And I really believe that. but you must be ready to deal with it. Okay? And when you do that, then you have to look at taking action, set out these steps and start taking action. And basically, so in the coaching process, what the transition coach, what I will do is really take you through these steps, because I know it's going to be difficult. This is new to many, to everybody actually. You're not sure, I would say we're in uncharted waters. So we all need that support to help us through. And I want to, at this stage, share a story on maybe look at a way to help you think positively, to start removing those blocks in the way. All right. So start thinking that your frustration, your fears, look at that as the inner blocks, that dealing with your emotions, that you are in charge of. You can do the things or seek the professional help to help you deal with the emotions and to have a more positive outlook. When you're going to address like family matters and work issues, etc., those are really more external blocks. A lot of those situations may be out of your control, right? You can advise family members. You could tell them, okay, don't spend like this, don't do X, Y, and Z. But they may not listen to you, and you may not be able to do anything to force them to do it. If your company is shutting down, and you have to be released, or they may have or get a package, etc., there's nothing you can do about that. So you prepare your mind to say, okay, the external blocks, this is how I'm going to handle it. Emotions, my internal blocks, this is how I'm going to handle it. So to put yourself in a positive frame of mind, you're home post-COVID, you want to know what's going to happen. How am I going to do all this that Jennifer told me to do? How am I going to have a positive mindset? What you're going to do right now is start to think of, let me put it this way, and I want to share a story, or put you in a story. And think of yourself at this stage. You receive an invitation, a special invitation, which says to you, I want you to attend a special function, come prepared, come with all that your plans, how you see yourself, how you would like to, what type of life you would like to live, and come with all that. Be prepared, bring all that. And it's like if the Almighty Father telling you, hey, you just send what you need, send your needs to me, and I will ensure that you're going to be all right. Okay, so look at it like this, because you have to change that mindset. So you got this special invitation, and when you attend that function, that definitely at the end of it, you're going to be all right. You would get all the tools, everything to say, good, you could start again. What do? The first thing, as you get that invitation, you will be all excited. So that invitation is an invitation for you to step out, okay? So you get all excited because you get this invitation. All right. You're not frustrated again. You don't have any fears, because you were promised that when you attend that special function, you're going to receive whatever you need to make your life better, for you to continue living that life that you want to live. So you start by that change of mindset, excited because of course you want to go. And you're not telling anybody any of your negative friends about those invitations, because you don't want them to dissuade you and say, no, don't go. Okay? So you go now and you say, all right, what do I have to do? You find out where it's at. You want to know time, etc. So you have all that information and you start the preparation. So you with me? So after that positive mindset and excitement about going, you start to prepare. How do you prepare? You want to look at, okay, what am I going to wear? You start to check if I have the money to buy the clothes. You have to go to the barber or the hairdresser. You're cleaning up your car. You're making sure everything in order because you're preparing to go for that special function. So that's the preparation. Preparation is you checking everything. You're taking an inventory. You're being realistic. What do I have? What do I have to do to make sure that I create a great impression when I get there, so I would get what I need to be successful? So you with me there? So that is the preparation. You're doing all the preparation. You're looking at what time to get there, how you're going to look when you get there. And let me say, before you leave that house, you're going to check yourself in the mirror. All right. Visualization. You're looking good, you're feeling good, and you know your mindset has to be positive to get outside there. You're also going to check who's going to be there, because you know how you have to dress, how many people going to be chatting with you, etc. And that is really preparing for any challenges that you may come up with. Okay? And when you get there, of course, you are all set with your plans, because you're not going there if you know they're going to ask you certain questions, and if you're ready and prepared, you're not going to go there if you're not prepared. And if you don't know, and if you're clear of what you want, you have to be clear on what you want. Because if you're not clear on what you want and how you want your life to plan out, then why are you going? So you're with me there. So it's all about starting with a positive mindset, preparing, believing, removing all the negative blocks from around you, including the people that is negative. And you're going out there positive, because if you don't believe, you're not going to achieve. And this is where, in terms of a simple roadmap, but when you have, as I say, I will be there with you, along with you, as your transition coach, to help you through the situations, because everyone will be different. So we have to deal with each person. And that is why when Terri-Ann and I got together and decided, hey, we need to create a package for our 50 plus cohorts. We need to help them through this time. We have the experience, we have the expertise, we have been through a lot because we are within your age group. So we can definitely help. And we thought, no, we don't want to have it as a group. We don't want a workshop. We don't want a group session. We thought this will be the group session, a free webinar. But we felt for you to really make it, what you need to do is we need to see you as on an individual basis, to kind of hold your hand, give you that support, you know, so you will have those people you can trust to take you along that life journey successfully, COVID or no COVID, because we don't know when really COVID would go or when they're going to get a vaccine. What we're really looking about is after lockdown, when we have to go out there to work and to really see how we can live life differently but happily. So Terri-Ann, I don't know if at this stage, if you have any questions there for me, or before my time is up.
Well, you certainly covered a lot of ground, and I think we can do the questions at the end, because we will combine them. And Jennifer, one of the things that you pointed out is the whole issue of fear. I love the fact that, you know, the issues that people raise about transition, new life, children, the future for their children, uncertainty. A lot of you are saying, I'm thinking of starting a business. And I know that's the undercurrent of the economic instability.
Yeah.
When you read, you listen to all of the news media, the news channels, the one thing is they separate COVID, the disease, for which a solution of a vaccine will come in about a year's time, and the lockdown, the economic lockdown. So there's a big debate about life and livelihood. And a lot of the fear that is arising as a result of these transitioning moments are based in economics. And I agree with our cohort. A lot of them are seeing business entrepreneurship as a possibility. And I want to couch that in a certain way. First of all, we need to pat ourselves on the back and say, thank God we have one big advantage. It is the fact that we are at this life stage, having a significant amount of experience, having come through careers where we have created serious value, and having come through life where we've raised children, send them off to school, send them off to work, keep them disciplined. And even for those of us who have come through a life process that was traumatic, and the children didn't do what we wish they would do, the job didn't do what we wish it would do, the spouse didn't do what we wish they would do, and we may have a whole bunch of experiences that may not be newspaper worthy or television worthy. The fact of the matter is, having arrived in this 5.8G generation, the 50 to 80 cohort, we have a lot of experience. And where we need to supplement our income, we have the advantage of understanding one of the most important attributes we need to have, which is patience and tenacity. So understanding that life is changing and understanding that many of us are thinking of starting a business, a few of us who are on board, I know, have businesses that are ongoing. And I'm not really addressing you. So you could consider my part of this discussion to be a sort of a refresher for you. I really want to focus in this webinar on the persons who are facing a post-COVID world of employers deciding you are 1 year to 60, 2 years to 60, 3 months to 60, and listen, better not come back, or who you've worked for the past 10 years with some kind of medical condition, probably asthma, probably a little bronchitis, probably you may have been a cancer survivor or something like that, and you are now perceived as high risk to the work environment, and therefore, okay, cut down. So you are top of the list for work from home, which means a reduced function and capacity and pay cut. Or you are on the list for early retirement, or your position is top of the list for redundancy. This is a really sudden shock, and you have to now earn income. And because you've more or less been a lifetime employee, thinking that, okay, I'll have a couple of years for transitioning, you have to very, very quickly think about, how do I earn supplemental income? How do I have some business? Because you can't go and start a job now. So as I said, congratulations. Your advantage, unlike the millennials, is that you have experience. And the first thing that we need to do is take a break. The first thing that you need to do is take a deep breath and just think and consider you. Your first incorporation is you, the entity that you are. Think back on the last 20 years, because right now we're trying to figure out, what am I going to do? How am I going to get some kind of stability or income in my life? Think back on your last 20 years, and the answer to what you will do is inside of there. And I ask people to think of 3 things. Think of, what do you do very well? It may be a hobby. It may be something that you just casually, flippantly do. It maybe you make paper dollies or whatever it is. But just think of something that you do very well. The other thing you can think of is, what do people come to you always to ask you about? What are you the go-to person for? What do you fix? What kinds of problems do people, why do people tell you they like to deal with you or come to you? Okay? And the next thing I want you to think about, are you accustomed to looking at situations and just coming up with ideas? They should do that for this, or they should do that for this. Out of those thoughts, which you have to take when you sit back and relax, will come the seed of what you can possibly do over the next year or two to supplement your income streams. Now, I am making an assumption that you have some kind of nest egg to give you at least 2 or 3 months to get things going. Okay? So we're making that assumption. So there are really 3 ways that business ventures start. You have a technological breakthrough. Forget the word technology. Don't get scared by it. It doesn't necessarily mean computers. It means that you found a different way to do something. You might have a quick and easy way to cook a traditional meal. You might find a quick and easy way to do laundry, to make a dress, to do whatever it is. But some different way to do something that solves a problem for people, or some different way to do something that makes things easy for doing something that is an ordinary and time-consuming or mundane task. So you're finding a solution for somebody. So you find a new technology. You have a new idea. You've always thought about things and something that the world needs to be better, or to be more enjoyable, or be less stressful. Okay? The next place that your business idea might come from is from something that you are totally passionate about. This may or may not have been related to your profession. It may be completely different. You may love dogs, the environment, cats. You may like paint, you may like food, but something that you are passionate about. The fact is, most of us in this cohort, if we leave the workplace suddenly, we try to get into business that closely reflects what we may have been doing for the last 20, 30 years. The problem is that if you've not been in an entrepreneurial role in that organization, the difference between being an employee and being a business owner is that an employee leaves and goes home and goes on vacation, and when you go home, you don't really take on the business. An entrepreneur does not have that luxury. It's with you all the time. So you've got to have a match with something that you feel passionately about, something that is easy for you to do, something that you are clear in terms of where it can go. I cannot stress enough, if you're planning to get into business, that you think of these things. And very often, the business that a post-50, a post-retirement person gets into is totally unrelated to their career, because your career is a job and a business is a bit different. So once we've set out what you are likely to do, we have to get on the road of, let's get this business started. Now, I have a very specific definition of what a business is. And if we are looking at supplementing your income through 50 to 80 years old, then you're looking for something that has to be consistent. It has to be something that you can sustain for a long time. And it has to be something that just by its nature doesn't stress you out. All right? So a business is not a hustle. A hustle, you can drop that and go to something else and think about something else. Once you decide on something that you're going to get into, you are committing for at least 3 years to at least get that thing going, and going at it for 5 years.
Yeah.
The first, and there is a book called The Disciplined Entrepreneur. You can go online and get a million models for getting into entrepreneurship. But entrepreneurship is not golf. It is not a solo sport. So after you get your idea, the first thing you need to find is, who can I work with? You need a partner to develop entrepreneurship, especially if you're going into entrepreneurship for the first time. Whether that partner is your spouse, a family member, a best friend, someone you met with the same passion, and someone that you trust. One of the most important things you will need for going forward with turning your idea into a business is a business partner. Jennifer and I, we just celebrated our 1 year of connections, 50 plus, and our paths twist all the way around. And people look at us and they say, wow, look at your social media presence, look at what you're doing, and so on. Neither of us could have achieved what we have achieved on our own. Also, Jennifer and I weren't best friends and buddies before. We knew each other socially, but we didn't have a family connection. We didn't have a friend connection. You know, and sometimes you think you have to be family and friend and so on. What we share is a passion for supporting people moving forward. Jennifer from the coaching area and I from the business development area. And we realize most critically that we have similar values. So therefore we can trust each other. So I use that as an example to show you that that business partner doesn't necessarily have to be the person you know since you were a child because you trust them or you know them or the family member. The reason that you need to have a person with you is that the world of entrepreneurship is it's like the stock market nowadays. So, you know, the curve will go like this. And what's most important is that you need to have someone to have each other's back, to bounce ideas off of, and to think through things. And sometimes your family or your friends, out of knowing you too well and too much, may be either too optimistic or too pessimistic. They may want to save you from yourself. And sometimes you face things that are huge risks, like half of my severance package because we've got to set up a kitchen, or you're spending so much time in this. What about the children? What about the family? So you have to have a partner who understands your idea, understands your passion, has your energy, and is aligned with you with values to move on. So once you have your idea, once you have someone that you can work with, someone or two who you can work with to take your idea forward, you are ready to start thinking about, okay, let's get serious. And getting serious and not being a hustler, I always recommend, please register a business. Register a business name, register have a company organized. And the reason for this is as you go forward and when you are very good at your skill and you do what you have to do, most companies and most programs that support entrepreneurs give priority to formal companies. So if you don't register and have some kind of formal entity, for a company doesn't like to just hand checks out to individuals. They like to hand it out to a company because there are certain things in the companies that protects them, okay? It's not a daunting task. Some people say, oh, there's documentation and there's taxes. It's not a daunting task. You have documentation for everything. We just came out of careers that were defined by monthly reports and so on. It's going to be 1/100th of that, I promise you. So you have your business entity set up, you have your idea, and you have your partner. We are still in our sit back and relax stage. The other thing that I would very, 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 very strongly advise you to do is to take inventory of both of you. And by take inventory, Jennifer talked about assessing and knowing yourself. You can do it informally by having people tell you what they think you're good at, what you do well, and things like that. What we strongly advise and we advocate and we have done for ourselves is get professional assessments. Go get an assessment of your skills inventory, your aptitudes, your personal communication styles, the way you like to behave, how you look at life. Get an objective assessment so that you and your partner have in front of you a piece of paper done by a professional that says to you both, this is who you are. That helps you to work together, to build a rapport, to know each other's strengths and weaknesses, so that when you have faced with difficulties or decisions and going through your business process, you know naturally who is more likely to handle something better, who is more likely to support in which area. Jen and I have done this, and we were shocked at the results, which have us as a match in heaven. I think it's a better match than in our houses. They were around. And remember, this is coming from two people who weren't friends or family before that. So you have your idea, you have a sense of what you are going to do, all right? You have your team around you, and you've done the assessment to see, okay, we could work together, we are a match, all right? The next thing that many, many business people do, and I am telling you this, I ask the question, what are you selling? And I get a lovely, intricate discussion of the thing that is being made. Oh, I'm selling phone cases. Oh, I'm selling pants. Oh, I'm a caterer. And you focus on what you are doing. In an entrepreneur, now we do this because we look out at other people who are doing business and we say, I can do that. But what defines your business is not what you make. What defines your business is what is the customer buying. A customer buys one of two things, a solution to a problem or some source of pleasure, okay? So when you look at your idea or the technology breakthrough or your passion, take a look around and say, where do people pay people to do this kind of thing? All right? That gives you an idea of where the marketplace for your product is. I want to tell you what a customer is. A customer is not your friend and family who will just buy something for you. A customer has about 4 dimensions. First of all, they have the problem that your product solves. They have the problem that your product will solve. Secondly, they have the capacity to buy your product, which means they have the money to be able to afford it. They can make the decision about whether or not to buy it, and they can do that in a reasonable time frame. So if you're doing catering and we are in January, we're in May, Lord, COVID, I don't know the date, we're in May, and you know a friend who has, every year she does a party for Christmas, but you need your business to go in now. She may be a customer to put on the future list, but for right now, because time is not a factor for her, that's not a customer. So we think about who is our customer. What is our product? So we talked about, we understand our product from the customer's point of view. What solution does it present? What opportunity does it give to people? Then we look for people who want that solution or need that opportunity, We look for people who are willing to pay for the solution, because there are lots of people who say that I want this and that, but I'm waiting to see if I get a free ticket to go here or a free ticket to go there. You want somebody who can make the decision, because you don't want to go chasing after somebody and then you hear, oh, well, this is nice and I really need that, but I have to go and check this one and I have to go and check that one. And you want somebody who can do it in a reasonable amount of time. Okay? So once you have that together, you and your partner sit down and then you all say, let's see if we could come up with at least 20 people who we could approach. Let's see if we could come up with 20 people who we could approach. And you start. Then you sit back down again and you breathe, because you're sure about your product, you're sure about who you might approach, but now you have to get ready to get into business. And there are two important areas that you have to really think about carefully. It's, how are we going to make money? How are we going to make money?
Yeah.
All right. And the next thing is, what are we going to do with the money when we make it? How much money you make has to do with what's the price of your product and what's the cost of producing it and how much you can produce. Okay? The last thing you look at is the price. All right? So you do a prototype and you think about, if it is a service, if it's advisory, your costs are going to be very low, very, very low. If you have to make something, you have to cost it. Quantity really determines who am I going to sell to and how do they buy? How frequently would they buy? Every week, every day, every month, every 4 months, every 3 years? How frequently? Those two, the costs and the quantity, give me a sense of the kind of scale that I have to do. So Terri-Ann, you ask, where does price come in? Some people take their cost and they add 10%. No, some people take their cost and they add 15%. Because if you've been an employee for a long time, you may not be comfortable but making something that costs $3 and selling it for $300 if that's what the market will be. But if you look at Shark Tank or you look at any of these other shows, you'll realize that most people, the cost has no bearing to the price. You then look at your market and you try to figure out, okay, what does this sell for? That gives you an indication of how much you could sell the product at, okay? So, one other thing that I'm going to tell you about getting into business is based on who you've decided to sell to, okay? You're not going to sell to everybody. If it's a mass market item and everybody is going to buy it, I will advise you to try and tighten up your niche and sell to a smaller, more select group that is less price sensitive. Yes, you want to be able, when you start, to be able to maximize your profits, okay? So choose a market that is going to be more appreciative of the value and the solution that you're presenting, rather than looking to nickel and dime and compare to what is available and cutting you down. At the start, try to be a little exclusive. Now, it's 6:49. There's 1 more minute for me to finish, and then we'll get into questions. But one of the things that I wanted to really help you to understand, and from Jennifer and I talking to you today, we understand that just getting into the third act of life is a huge transition, because you're leaving your career and you're going into that after career world. Most people announce it to be retirement, but because of how we are, we're not going to retire till 80. So after 50, 60, you have 30 or 20 more years to live, and you've got to be productive, and you've got to be happy, and you've got to have a social life in that period, and you've got to be able to finance it. So what Jennifer and I do in Connections 50 Plus is we have decided, especially now, that these twin issues of what do I do with my life going forward, given that, oh my God, I'm out of my career, and what do I do going forward because I'm probably not financially ready, we have decided we put together a special package to support you all right? And that package, and I don't know, Jennifer, if you would like to start. No, I have one other point I have to make on business before, to make it easy for you. When you're thinking about setting up a business, because you're starting where you're starting, businesses take time to develop. I want you to take an intergenerational approach to business. You may be starting the business for yourself, yes. But if you think medium term or long term, think of this business being done for your children, your grandchildren, or someone you care a lot about. That is going to give you a lot of motivation to stick to it and keep going. Okay? So Jennifer.
Yes, Terri-Ann, that's very good for all those who on board with us and interested in going into business. Definitely, Terri-Ann, you have outlined those steps, which is very easy for them to follow. And of course, when they need that professional help, they know you have that expertise to help them. And that's why, yes, we have, and before we go into Terri-Ann, any questions I haven't in terms of scrolling on the chat, and I don't know if we would allow anybody to speak up, or you will prefer all on the chat. I'm not really.
It would be better to have it on the chat.
Yeah, I'm not. So feel free as we chat. Anyone who wants to ask question, we are opening up the floor now that we can answer any questions you may have. So as we mentioned earlier, for those who weren't there, that you just scroll down below, and where you see chat, you just, scribble whatever question you would like to ask us. Okay, so what we have done, and we mentioned before, understanding what is happening now at this time during the lockdown, that people are very frustrated and fearful and concerned as to what's next step. So for us, we decided to create this special package, and it is an individual package, so you can get that individual attention. So for those, whether you are strictly looking at your life journey, how you could really live happy and achieve your goals and whatever plans that you have for this stage, we will do that. Or it goes who interested in the business side of it. So this package, the first thing you will do, of course, that the first step is to have consultation with Terri-Ann and I together.
Our name, Jennifer.
Huh?
We have our special name. Oh,
sorry. It is called the 5.8G Evolution Reset. And as you say, we keep happening on the 5.8 because it's the 50 to 80 generation. It's the evolution and your reset, which means definitely you're going to be prepared to live that life the way you want to. So we're going to send that information with the link for the landing page, etc. But what we'll do first, we're going to make sure that we sit with you, have that consultation to understand where you are at this stage, and of course, where you want to go.
All right, I'm seeing a question from Catherine.
Sure.
Once you've passed the initial stages, how do you move outside of the exclusive, especially where others may have been turned away by your exclusiveness in the beginning? And Catherine, I'm thinking that you're talking about business here, okay? And that's why we asked in the sense of a part that we could not handle here, we're getting into the issue of sales and selling and the need to go out there after with your exclusive group, you would have tested your concept and you would have found exclusivity, and hopefully you would have found people to endorse and recommend. And one of the things that we would help you to do is to find paths to expand your market base. All right?
Yeah.
And as Jennifer was talking about, our Evolution Boost package is one where we have, is it 4 parts, Jennifer?
Yes.
It starts with, we could not carry everything in this 1 hour webinar. But in this package, we will first sit with you in an online face-to-face. Everything is going to be digital, Zoom.
Yes.
A face-to-face, where we get through that first section that both Jennifer and I talked about in terms of really listening to you and getting a sense of where do you want to be in life? What is your vision? Where and what's the change? What do you want to leave from the second act? And what do you want to take forward into the third act? And most critically, what do you want to recreate? What's that new vision for you? All right? And then the second part, I raised it and Jennifer also raised it. We are going to get you professionally assessed to get a sense of what are you psychologically, what is your profile? What is, many of us as part of our jobs, we may have done psychometric assessments for our suitability and all kinds of things like that. But we are going to do it looking at you individually moving forward. And then we are going to use those tests to give you a sense of what is the best fit with your path going forward, whether it is a change in life or whether it is going into business. Now, that package, Jennifer, would normally be how much money?
Yes, Terri-Ann. You know, the total package was $3,000, and we thought, at this time, we're going to slash that in half. So that would just cost $1,500, and that involved all the consultation, the assessment, and the one-on-one session with us, where we go through that and your entire situation. And as you said before, whether it's the business aspect or your life and you need guidance as to how are you going to navigate your life journey to really live the way you want to. And at this time, this is really a critical time because many people had great plans, Terri-Ann, you know, and all well and good because plans based on the situation then.
Yeah.
But with this changing situation now, you have to relook. As I said, it's a new normal.
But
so you now have to look within again.
Before we hit 7 o'clock, sorry, we have to say one clear thing because my phone is lighting up with how much is this and what is going on. We have created this special Evolution Reset package, and it is going to last for 3 months. It is for till July, till the end of July. We have this special package at the regular price. Regular price is $3,500, but for 3 months, it's going to be $3,000. For people who register in the next week, that is until the 18th, next Monday, you are getting it at $1,500 TT dollars. Okay? And this is just an explanation. This is just to show how very passionate Jennifer and I are about making sure that our 5.8G cohort really shines going forward, whether COVID existed or not. COVID just gave us a reason to give a big slash, and because this is our first webinar, we said no, half price. So you for the next week, those who have attended this webinar, if you register within the next week, that's until the 18th, you will have this package, which is on special from $3,500 to $3,000. You will have it for $1,500. Yeah. You're going to get the online consultation. You're going to get the professional.
Yeah.
Then you're going to be working with Jen and I to be on your path, whether it is for business or for just simply transitioning your life.
And Terri-Ann, before we close, because it's 7 already, we're going to replay this webinar at our Wednesday live Facebook.
Yes.
And so tell your friends, let your friends come on board and listen in. So they would also have that opportunity to register for this special package at the $1,500 cost.
Yes. And to register, you are going to see a link on our, it's from tomorrow, on our Facebook page, on our website, where you can just send the link. And because all of you have registered through our promotion on MailChimp, we have your email addresses and we are going to send you the registration package. Don't worry, once you send your confirmation before the 18th, you are going to be billed at $1,500. If you send it after the 18th, you are going to be billed 3,000 TT dollars for it. You know, Jennifer and I are excited. We are happy. We are so thrilled that you all were here. Thank you for those who are saying great information and so on. But
and I would like to say to you all too, feel free to send us some more comments. Let us, know how you felt about this webinar and any other comments you have. And we welcome that. And we can chat again on it, Terri-Ann, at maybe one of our Wednesday live or one of our Zoom meetup that we could discuss, their concerns. So I want to thank you. Terri-Ann at this stage.
Great. Yes. We'll be in touch. Everyone knows the way to contact us. All right. Which via WhatsApp. You can contact me directly at 868-682-9202. You can contact Jennifer at
685-8834. That's also a WhatsApp number.
And I've just shared our contact card, so you'd see all the many ways to contact us. Our email address is, everything is CONEC-TIONs, 1N, 50+. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We really look forward to seeing you. We are excited. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was really lovely having you all on board with us. So have a great evening. Excellent. So at this stage, we're just saying bye. Okay.
Bye. It's fantastic seeing you. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Good.